Hey, rock stars. Welcome to September 1. We were just talking about how exciting it is to be in the Christmas season of doTERRA. This is when we see volume kind of start to take off and skyrocket. It's when we regather and regroup and find momentum and new things and new growth happening in our businesses. A little bit different this year, right? With the virtual convention happening. I hope all of you have your convention ticket purchased and you're ready to rock. If not, make sure you do that. I know a lot of us have been talking about doing things like watch parties and things like that, but you really are going to want your own ticket. doTERRA's really emphasized this. There's a lot of extra material. You're going to want to log in and go through at your own time. It's very affordable. Make sure you grab your ticket. I'm going to jump right into tonight because we have one of our very own, Jen, with us tonight, who I asked to talk about. We had Jen on here several times present to us, but she's so good at what she does. And my question was, well, how do you get the doTERRA conversation started? And what oils do you decide to go with first? What's your first approach? So Jen, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Hi guys, happy September. So excited. Yeah, I'm really excited for convention month too. Can't wait to see what the new products are. But it's so great to see all your faces again. And so when Kenzie asked me to talk about that, I was actually sitting and thinking about how my conversations go with a lot of my customers. And one of the most important things that I really want to share is, and I've heard this over and over and over again, is listening to the customer. So I don't necessarily think it's a cookie cutter approach for each person. I really don't. I will say one of the very first products I lead with when anyone asks me a question about, I deal with X, Y, and Z. I got to be honest, I really actually go right for lifelong vitality, only because of the impact that it has made in my life. Excuse me. But when you really listen to the customer and take that time and let them divulge the information to you, what they're experiencing. So, if you're listening to a customer that a potential member that's talking more about, some emotional situations that they're dealing with, or maybe it is actual on the physical aspect of pain, or maybe they struggle with feeling always being sick. When you really take the time to listen to what they're saying, that's when you can lead with an oil right from one of the kits. This was one of the best pieces of advice I ever learned was when I first started sharing doTERRA. My messages, I don't know if you guys have seen this going around, but it's ask me what you think about essential oils. And it's someone posted this long Facebook Messenger reply back, and it's this long. And that's what my messages look like when I first started sharing doTERRA. I would go into all of the things that I was so excited about. I was excited about the details of how these oils work, and here's your concoction that you want to make. Here's the blend that I would use. Here's the supplements that would go with it. And for me, because I had an understanding of what all those oils were and what the supplements did, it was exciting and I understood it. But the person on the other end, they're like, oh my God, this is a bunch of gibberish. This is literally a foreign language. I have no idea what you just sent to me. Can you just tell me what oil to use? So we have to baby step them into that. So when you are take the time and you really listen to what your customer is saying, all you need to do is pick one simple, my favorite with the home essentials was you just picked one oil. Now that home essentials has changed, you pick one oil out of that kit. And you just let them know that one oil that could help support this situation that they're in. So again, if it's emotional, you've got adaptive. If it's pain, you've got deep blue, and you can say this kit is the perfect starter set for you, because not only is this going to cover your concerns with with your emotions right now, but you're going to cover things like your immune system, and you're going to cover discomfort that you may experience, and you're going to cover sleep, excuse me, it's still stuck there. You're going to be able to help them cover so many more aspects of what they're dealing with. But for someone that is brand new to essential oils, doesn't even really know what doTERRA is, a confused a confused brain doesn't want to buy. They'll get like so confused into too many suggestions and the conversation that we kind of like all geek out over, right? Like we're like, oh, we've got this is the best combination. You can put these supplements with it, but to them, they're not ready for that yet. That's like talking, we're like in a school age level, like we're talking to kindergartners and we're on like middle school level or high school level. They're not ready for it. So when you take the complication, as soon as I started shortening up my messages, you guys, as soon as I cut down those messages and I led from a space of how would I feel to receive this message, it was like the conversations flowed, right? So they're like, oh, that sounds good. Adaptive. Well, how do you use it? You can diffuse it. You can apply it over your heart. You can put it onto your wrists and take some deep inhales. You're going to feel some really great, your body's going to respond really well and feel calm and more relaxed when you use this oil. And it's really great to diffuse. Like keeping it simple and giving them simple directions is what's going to allow for them to take the leap, because they're like, oh, okay, I can handle that. I can handle that. But if you're giving, these in-depth roller bottle blends and diffuser blends, they're going to feel confused and they're going to feel overwhelmed, and they're going to feel, because that is probably the number one feedback I get from a lot of my members is, because it's me not doing my job better, but if they're still coming to me for the resources on how to make roller bottles, or if they're still coming to me and asking me how to do things, right? I haven't given them enough tools or the guidance to use the tools for them to feel secure in using and making their own blends and doing their own and taking their own action steps. So when someone's brand new, we want to guide them into that. Those are the phases of like your one-on-ones with them, or it can look very different for all of us, because like my one-on-ones are done through Facebook Messenger. But when you're doing that, we're giving them those baby steps to grow into, like, again, our first one-on-one with them is teaching them how to set up their LRP, right? So that would be like the next step for them. But as far as excuse me, it really hit me right here. As far as like introducing what oils I like to introduce, I would choose a kit that you're comfortable with. And for me, when I started, it was the Home Essentials. So that was the kit that I had started with. So that's where I felt comfortable sharing. But like, again, when you're sharing those essential oils, or you're sharing what oils do I share with them first, simplicity is key. I don't know, do you guys do that? Have you simplified your conversations with them and saw better success when you simplify it? Because in the beginning, I'll tell you, I've had so many messages that went like it went red and they never responded. And it was probably because they were just so dang confused, It was just too much given to them at that one moment. So when leading, what kit is comfortable for you for your speaking point? Like, what kit do you feel comfortable with? Figure that kit out and get to know that kit really well. And once you are working with that specific kit, it can work for everybody. Those kits are designed. doTERRA did a fantastic job designing starter sets that fit everybody. Really, they really did. And so it's for me, it was a matter of finding which one that I loved to share and which one that I felt comfortable with. And then from there is when you can kind of expand in sharing all of those kits comfortably. So again, when it comes to which oil do I share, simple. Keep it simple, because they really don't, again, a confused mind won't jump. They won't make the plunge and dive in with you. Now that doesn't speak for everyone. Of course, we have our people out there that do love some more of in-depth information, and they do love give me all the goodness here in one time. So you do have those they're the rare finds, but majority of people, they really want to keep it simple. So I just love listening to the conversation, listening to what they have to say. So really let them speak, and then pinpointing their pain point, because that's another thing that, when you can sympathize and listen and relate with them and be able to give them a solution for their pain point, they're really like, that's what they're there for, in talking with you, because they're at their last selection of what they have left to help them in their situation, or they have just tried everything, and you're like that answer to their prayer again. You're the answer to their prayer showing up. So, really listen to what they have to say. And, just select that one oil that speaks to that specific situation that they're in. Does that make sense for you guys? Yeah. So it's like, it is really keeping it simple. Once we complicate it, I do feel like it frightens the member. It kind of gives them that like, I don't know if I can do this because this seems complicated. So once we take it and keep it simplified, it works for them. And then we just walk them into middle school. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that as well, because or maybe even what is your favorite set that you love, or your starter kit that you love to share. I will tell you now, for me, it is the Healthy Habits, because I'm a big fan of lifelong vitality. Like I had said, now when a lot of people come to me, then we're talking about, health situations that they're experiencing. I am all in for lifelong vitality, because it's such a life-changing product that doTERRA offers. So I've kind of switched a little bit, and because the Healthy Habits kit is fantastic with the supplements and the oils, you've got the best of both worlds. That is my favorite set to lead with, because you're just getting the best of doTERRA. You're getting our supplements, and you're getting our essential oils. Not only that, but they are consumable products. Lifelong Vitality is a product that they need to come back. I need to come back to doTERRA every month and order my 2 packs for my family. So it's a consumable product. So when you're leading with this is my favorite, when you're leading with a kit that is going to immediately have them come back for one of our best products, you have now not only you've set like a lifelong customer, you've got them, it's an instant for life, for LRP, because you're going to earn points on that. So that to me is my favorite kit to share. That's just my favorite. I don't know if you guys want to share your favorites.
Jen, in that conversation, do you take it, from starting the conversation to choosing an oil to answering their question with one specific oil, do you have that whole conversation online? Do you ever get on the phone? How do you go from initial contact to enrollment? What are the steps of your process?
So no one ever wants to get on the phone with no one ever wants to get on the phone with me. I think it's just because, people have this, lives are busy, right? I know even for myself, I don't like getting on the phone. I don't like making a phone call to, because you get into the conversation, and I like to give undivided attention. And when you're in the process of your day doing things, it's hard to get on the phone and have a sit down conversation. So my people, I do get on the phone with some. There are a few that like to get on the phone and chat, but it's very rare. And so mine happens all online. And the beauty of the online piece is that it can be done when you can answer. So sometimes we're in a direct conversation and it's back and forth, where we're both like, I've got 10 minutes, you've got 10 minutes. And we'll say that. My customer will say, hey, I've got like 10 minutes to chat about this real quick. And the conversation flows for 10 minutes. I'm very direct too. I've learned to be very direct, because again, time is of the essence for people. People are busy. They really want to be they really want like an answer to their problem. So I get right into it. So if it's, I'll give you an example. So I have someone that messaged about, I'm very open about coming off thyroid meds and sharing my health journey. And that involves so many aspects. And so when someone messages me about that and I share my story, I'm very direct with them. I say it's a complete, it's nutrition, it's exercise, it's, eliminating toxins in my home and using natural solutions. And the first thing I say to them is like, the number one thing you need to do is you need to get on these vitamins, hands down. Period. Like, this is it. You need to get on these vitamins and you can see the change for yourself. This is going to help your health tremendously. So, the conversation that I have with people is just super direct. And so people appreciate that too. They appreciate that direct conversation. So sometimes it can be, we can be on like back and forth conversating, or sometimes it's, I'm on the other end and she's got her hands full with her kids and bringing, grocery shopping, whatever. So it can be back and forth for like throughout the entire day, but it's still the same. It's still the same dialogue for me. I'm still very direct. When they ask a question, I'm going to say I really do. Now I'm really like, you need lifelong vitality. You need lifelong vitality, and this is going to change your life, and you're going to see how amazing these supplements are and what they're going to do for your health. And now for this, you're going to have XYZ for using, and I give them like a quick rundown of what that's going to look like for them too. But I really love leading now with lifelong vitality. So when it is, I always incorporate, like, if someone's looking for just an oil experience, then I will lead with that oil for them in the situation that they might be in. But I do 100% love sharing lifelong vitality, hands down, first.
Be honest with us. How often do you get ghosted when you're that direct in your messaging?
So it happens. It happens. But it's a direct with love. Like, I think and I love using the voice messenger. Do you guys use that? You send voices, the voice messenger. First of all, I hate the way my voice sounds. So that's a big, like, it's hard to come over that, to get over that, right? So you're like, remember listening to your own voicemails back in the day and you're like, stop, make it stop. Right. So when you're listening to these voice messages over and over again, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to get over this own thing in my head. So, but voice messages are great. I don't know if you guys can hear my energy is like this when I'm talking to my customers. If you're not in the energy space to send them a message that they're going to feel it when they hear it, like, take a few minutes, walk away, go outside, and then send it. Don't get me wrong. I have sent some doozies where I like screwed up on the message. There's been something happening in the background. I may have even slipped up, spell check in my mouth. Sometimes I'm like, whoops, I didn't mean to say that. Nothing's perfect. So, but yeah, I've been ghosted. I get ghosted all the time, you guys. I get ghosted all the time. And I get in my own thoughts as well. But when I'm on my game and I'm really like, I'm diving in and I'm into it, like, you've got to lead with that energy and enthusiasm. Because this is how I talk to everybody about lifelong vitality with this kind of, well, they're like, Jen, it's 9:30 at night. Where are you getting that energy? I'm like, lifelong vitality. They're like, I need some of that. So when you can lead with that kind of energy, or just, it doesn't even have, it should be you. Okay, so here's the other thing. It should be you. You shouldn't have, like that fake infomercial energy, because they can see right through it. But you should lead with your heart. Like, if you are speaking passionately about the oil or the product, they appreciate it. They know it. They just know it. So when you can do it in that state of mind and that, and your energy, they really do feel that. They really do. And they really are like, I want how she's feeling. They do. They're like, I want to feel as, I'm not calm. I don't sell a lot of calm oils. I sell a lot of energy oils, but like, they want to feel what you're feeling. If you're very, if you're very calm, feel very calm and cool and collected, you know, for people that have high anxiety, like they're gonna want that. They're gonna be like, how are you so calm through all this? You know, they're gonna want that. If you're high energy and like, you know, you're just you're spunky, you have that spark, they're gonna want that. They're gonna be like, I want to feel like you do. So definitely lead with that energy. And if you're feeling in a space where you're like, I can't give that energy right now, you don't send it. Don't send the voice message, or it even plays out in words. Even when I'm texting, I can tell when my energy is off, even through like text messages, because even your wording can be, it's even the slightest change of words make that message, or your punctuation, whatever it is, like set yourself in your space where you're gonna be like, yeah, I want you to do this. You need to do this for your customer. And again, I'm not perfect. It doesn't happen all the time. I definitely have those moments where I'm like, crap, I lost that one. Hope they don't go to the other company.
Yeah, right. So tell us, when you have someone who says, yeah, absolutely, I want to do it, do you do that process for them on the checkout, or are you a link generator girl?
I'm a link generator. I hope all of you guys know how to use the link generator, because that is probably the most fantastic tool doTERRA had ever created. So I'll give you guys like a little tip too. I love building my business on Facebook, social media, connecting through people online. And when I would do lives, so if you're someone that maybe loves to get behind your phone and pop on a live for like your group or your Facebook profile, you can put together what you're going to talk about on that live, for instance. So say I talked about the HD Clear line and PB Assist to help with, you know, restoring the gut and helping with acne prone skin. You can put all of that in a link generator and literally put that in your comments. So whatever you just talked about in your live, your link is right there. So people just go right to your link and they're like, click, oh, there's all the products she just talked about, purchase. So, and you can add the membership to that as well. So it's a really fun way. Even you can do this in posts, or say you did have an in-depth conversation with someone and they're like, give me the deets, I want all the things I need to get. You're creating that link generator, sending that to them makes the checkout seamless. They don't even have to do a thing except check out. It's perfect. I'm a huge fan of the link generator. I do use my own website too, because, you know, sometimes I like to switch it up, but I'm a big link generator fan.
Question, it's Tamara. Hi, everybody. So yes, link generator is a game changer. When I found that, I stumbled across it and it was like the best thing ever. So you have these conversations and you finally get a person that is interested. At what point do you do an intro class, or, I mean, like, because are these just random people coming from anywhere, or have they already had a class? Do they need a class? How do you handle that?
That's a great question. So I'm a Facebook Live kind of girl, and a lot of my leads come from Facebook and referrals. So I have an online community where I invite people to come in and just kind of sit back and and see what essential oils can do and listen to other people's testimonies. And so I do kind of get a mix of referrals from people. From there, I get a mix of referrals from people from doing Facebook Lives, but I go after them. I do seek the people out, members to enroll. So it's just kind of like hosting a class in person, right? We would have to seek that class hostess, and we would sit down and we'd have, you know, the invitees watch our class, and then it'd be our job to do the follow-up with all of those who attended. It's the same thing with like a Facebook Live. So when I'm doing a Facebook Live, those who come and attend and comment, or I'll even ask people to share my video. I'll say, you know, if you know someone that could use this here, you know, send them my way, send them this link. Please refer them to me, invite them into our oil community. So definitely I definitely have to seek those members out. And it's basically having essential oil classes, but online is what I'm doing. So it's what's worked for me, because I know there's so many different ways to build our business. But for me, it's worked really well online. So I find them through referrals online.
So they will have already had a class basically through what you post online or your live class or whatever. They will have been formally introduced, put it that way.
Yes. Yeah. So
okay.
I consider like every live that I do, I consider it a class, even though it's not set up like classes. It's just educating something that I maybe used that day or that I used with my family. But I try to keep it relatable to what people experience in their life, you know. So if it's today, I talked quickly about relieving pressure in the face because it's, you know, allergy season, right? So that's something a lot of people are experiencing right now. So just I kind of share a little bit about what I do and how I use it, and then people are just they kind of just come to my classes through Facebook Lives. So that's kind of how I run my class. That's
okay.
what I consider my classes.
Okay. I'm not trying to take over. If anybody has something to say, just
No,
jump in.
I love
but
that.
I'm just really trying to be clear because I'm wondering, okay, so I'll get people that'll see a post or something and then they'll come and say, oh, for instance, I saw your post about, I don't know, calming down the brain or whatever. I'm curious about these oils, you know, what are they?
Yep.
You know, so I'll go through a brief, you know, what are they, how we use them, just something simple. And then I'll sample them. Okay. And then from there, I'll invite them to a class. So it is a process. I was just trying to see if you're doing something, if I'm doing too much. I guess that's the bottom line. I'm doing too much. If they ready to buy, how do you know? They tell you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So how they inquire through your post, and then you sample, and then do they come to the class? Are you doing classes online?
I usually do one-on-ones, no, Zoom. Yeah.
Okay.
Just Zoom. Mm-hmm.
So how does it go for you on Zoom when you're sitting and having the conversation with them, and you ask, you know, have the sample worked for them, and like, how is your close with them when you're sitting conversating with them? Are you saying, okay, let's look at the steps.
Mm-mm.
Let's see.
No.
Okay.
So I go through the whole thing. I sample them, contact them a couple of days later, see how it went. And actually, this last one, she contacted me. She couldn't wait. She was waiting on she couldn't get her anxiety medication until Monday.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, what happens is I do the one-on-one with Zoom. I actually go through the class, just a simple one-on-one with what essential oils made easy, but just kind of like abbreviated, just a real conversation or discussion. And at the end, I'll show them a couple of kits and I'll ask them, you know, what are we dealing with? Where do you see yourself starting? Whether you do it today or not, you know, where do you see yourself starting? And then from there, it's a discussion is started. And sometimes they get going right then and there, or they'll let me know, okay, Friday, I'll be ready to do this, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so I was just wondering if I need to literally have that class, do I need to just wait and have that class? But I'll figure it out. I hear what you're saying.
So honestly, Tara, mine works the same way. It's definitely a work. This is why we're constantly having to plant seeds, because when you're working with, if this is your process is exactly how my process goes, it's just a little bit, it's just as
it's a different format.
Exactly. It's the same format. I have to host the class. I have to follow up through Messenger. I have to continue to say, tag them on specific posts that they ask me questions on, and then I have the conversation with them in Messenger. Like, I go through the similar same steps as you. So, but my suggestion too is, like, if you feel like, you know, you could switch it up a little to tweak it to see if maybe you know, going directly into like give them a choice of 2 sets and be like, these are the 2, I've narrowed it down, that's going to work perfectly for what we discussed, which one works better for you. And maybe, you know, I find being more direct has wholeheartedly, it changed the game for me.
Yeah, I'm with that. I just wonder at what point do they get the formal, you know, this is oils, this is how we use them, and this is how, you know, the whole, you know, because then we could just carry on and go to the life overview, and then they're like, now how do I use them again? I mean, they're gonna do that anyway, but it's like we never talked about certain things that we're used to talking about in the intro class, and then you get all the way there and it's like, oh, I never told her how to use them. You know, that's what I'd be afraid of.
So this is the way my brain works. I'm the type of person that skim reads a book. I'm the type of person that like, so when I do my one-on-ones or my oil classes with a lot of my members, I really do shorten it up. I really do shorten it up for it's just because that's my personality too.
Yes.
And that just works for my members because life is just so fast paced, right? So I don't formally have a class with someone. I don't formally go through the entire live guide. I just kind of, and I have a community where it's a safe space for people to ask a lot of questions. So I feel like that's a super important, thing to have as well, as, you know, a place where your people that you're now enrolling have a safe place to learn about oil usage and, you know, supplements and stuff like that. So, because again, like I shorten a lot of my stuff up, and that's just my personality, you know, but that just works for me and my members. So what you're doing is spot on. It's again, where it's like the same steps, just in a different way.
Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I'm all about shortening up, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm not doing too much. Okay, I'm done, y'all. Y'all can have it.
I love your questions. I think it's great. I think you're doing fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. Who else has questions, guys? Ask her while we have her.
Hey, Jen, Amy.
Hi.
So I've been following you forever, and you gave us the courage to get out there and do our Facebook Lives, and I mean, that's how I've gotten most of my followers. We were just talking about this earlier tonight. We're struggling with the platforms, though.
Yeah.
So where have you found the most success? Like, I have a private group, right? They do have potential customers in there too. And I feel like that's where I dedicate my time because they're my people. But then I have a business page, which honestly, it's horrible to manage a business page. It is so clunky. It's awful. So then I find myself on my personal page. I mean, I kind of watch your ebbs and flows too. And I'm like, where should we be?
So this is a really, and I actually want to share some with you guys tonight too. This is really hard. I have recently been growing my business page, and I will tell you, it is extremely hard. But I also added an Instagram, and so my Instagram, I switched to a business profile, and when you post to a business Instagram, it'll only post to your business page on Facebook. So it is not fast growing at all. And I actually took a huge chance at this because I was doing really well, Amy, on my personal page. And I am a big advocate for grow your personal page first because you have so much potential there. You have the potential up to 5,000 friends. You have, if your profile is public, you have a reach of so many and so far. But for me personally, I felt the calling to make a switch and grow my Instagram and my Facebook business pages. And I don't suggest doing it until you're ready to make that. And it's a commitment. Once you do it, like, you can't go back and I'm just now starting to see growth, Amy, from my business pages. But it's extremely hard. So if you're doing your personal page and you're doing well on your personal page, grow with it as long as you can. For me personally, again, it was just, I was just called to do it. Like I was just called to just grow my business Instagram and grow my business Facebook. But I will tell you, it has taken such a huge hit. I don't have the same exposure. I'm not having the same engagement. It's tough growing it. But it's also, it was just, again, I just knew it was time for me to make that switch. And for as many people, my sister-in-law is in another, you know, she's grown her business online, and she went through the same thing. So it is something that takes time and dedication again. So making the switch was really hard. But Amy, if you're on, I would grow your personal page and your private group. Like that's really what I did for the first 2.5 years. I just made this switch recently within like the last 4 months. So keep going with your personal page because there's just so much potential there. And I grew to diamond just on my personal page. So keep that up, keep that going. And like another thing I wanted to share too, it's, you know, it's especially in the last few months, right? Social media has been really tough. There's a lot of emotions on social media. And I'll be honest, August was a complete, I don't know, Amy, if you've been following, like I literally took the month of August and took a giant step back because I just needed to regroup. I needed to regroup myself. I needed to regroup my why. I needed to regroup my emotions, and I needed to like really hone back into why am I doing doTERRA? What am I here for? You know, what are my plans? What are my goals that I want? And again, August was hard. So even for someone, I've been doing it for a while, and again, it was a month that I really struggled. So and I struggled in my business. So like it's part of the journey, you know, and in growing our businesses and being present on social media, even ever more so now because this is how we have been connected since March, you know. But reconnecting for me was massive, and I needed to do it. And Amy, I think you're doing a fantastic job, and keep going on your personal pages, you guys. Bring light, bring happiness, bring joy. And so many times where people are, you know, it feels divided. It feels like, you know, a heavy weight on all of our chest. Be the light for people on social media. Bring them something that they can come to see each and every day and say, you know, I see the happiness here, and this is why I'm here on social media. So I hope that helps.
No, it totally does. Thank you. And yeah, I think August sucked for all of us.
It was rough.
It was a burnout for sure.
Total burnout. I think Amy, if you've been following me, I think I did like 3 lives in August. That is not like me, you guys. I was doing lives like every day. So that just goes to show you, you know, we all have these ebbs and flows, like you said, in our businesses, and you know, it was just one of those months for me. But I'm back.
September 1st, new month. We got this.
Exactly. New month, new goals.
I have a question. Hi. If you're like, I'm really good at one-on-one with people, being a teacher for years, and I should be more on social media, and I have a Facebook page, but if you haven't been on it every day, like I know a lot of people go on it every day and post every day in there. So how do you start like making a presence without like people saying all of a sudden like, what is she, crazy? You know, just you don't want to post every day, or so how would you suggest starting into that whole scene?
So the first part of that, and thank you for being a teacher, the first part of that is like, you have to take that fear that people are going to think that of you, because they're not going to. You know, you have friends on your Facebook, and I'm sure they would love to see your smiling face or love to see something of inspiration that you post. How can anyone be upset over something that brings you joy, or something that, like, doTERRA brings all of us joy, right? How can someone be upset at us over something that makes us so happy and we're changing lives with it, right? And if those people did have something to say, you know, they don't have room for you. You don't need to make room for them in your circle, right? You want to grow with people who support you, whether it's financially in your business becoming a part of your team, or just or emotionally through, you know, supporting you and commenting and supporting you in your posts. So that's the first step, honestly, Linda, is like letting go of that fear that people would think that of you. Because first of all, you're a teacher. You're a huge part of our, you know, of your community and of our, you know, our children's lives. Like who wouldn't love to see more of you and what you have to say and the love that you pour into your life or your students, you know? So that to me is the biggest part. Once you can get over that, sky's the limit. You'll be posting so much, you'll be like, oh my God, I post like 6 times a day now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. See, Jen waved at you. Okay. So so Amy and I were just talking a little while ago and she talked about some of it, but my thing that I've really been struggling with is the whole like fake it till you make it thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I've had a really, really, really hard time since mid-July having like the energy that brings people in, you know? I mean, it's like, I try to fake it. Some days it's there, some hours it's there, but like, right. I don't want to stop. My momentum slowed down and all that kind of stuff, but it's like, I don't want to completely stop, and I'm hoping that convention is gonna bring it, right? I mean, that's just gonna be a huge kick in the butt with excitement and all the things. But you know, I mean, what do you think about that? You know, I mean, it's like I don't want to be fake, but I'm just like I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, this was a huge part of what August was for me. It's what this is why August was like I felt completely drained. I felt exactly like you're explaining right now. You know, how do you put forth the good face and, you know, put forth your one foot in front of the other when you're just feeling the energy is like low. So in that case, you know, it's okay to take a break. It's okay. And I like literally and I wasn't completely out of my business in August at all. I took a massive step back. And by doing that, Dana, honestly, like my batteries recharged. I feel like so much better and so much more present and connected. And I don't have that fake it till you make it feeling. And I'm like literally I had to recharge myself for that. And it's something that obviously I didn't want to have, right? But they're feelings and emotions and we have to go through them. And I'm not a person that puts on a fake face. I can't, you know? So for me, I had to like take a step back. I had to like regroup, regenerate, fill my cup up, find my why again, you know, and it was hard. It was hard. So in that case, it would be just, if you have to take a step back for a minute, just to get a breather, just to do those sorts of things. Because I will tell you, I feel a bazillion times better. I really do. I really do. And August was a rough month. It really was. So I know exactly what you're talking about because I felt that in August for myself, you know? And the thing to make you feel connected here is you're not alone. This is what I had to reach out to a lot of people and be like, I feel like this. And, you know, my Kimberly's on here. Oh, where'd she go? Did she leave? My Kimmy, oh, there she is. My Kimmy's on here. I've been in contact with Kimmy and it's like, we've told each other back and forth, like, it's okay. I'm here if you need me. I'm here if you need me because you're not alone in how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those things too, where it's like, it's hard for me because when I do the classes and I do the videos and Zooms, I mean, that's what gives me the energy, but it's like getting the momentum to get there is just like, oh my word.
Yeah.
Because I mean, family stuff has just been so stinking heavy here. And it's just like, ugh.
So it's like coming to, you know, this call when you get on here, even right now, I feel totally my cup is full and I feel like I could pump out 2 classes tonight because your energy is so good here, right? So put yourself with people that are going to give you like let's get it, let's do it, you know, like go for it. Because once you're on here, once you're sitting in front of people to have the conversation, you flow, you just go, you do it.
Right.
So I know what you mean is like getting to it though, getting it set up, showing up and doing it. Not calling and being like the dog ate my homework type of situation.
Right. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, and Jen, just to give you some feedback, I mean, I noticed, but I didn't notice, but it was refreshing to see you on vacation and smiling and with your kids and your family. But I think it's like, we have to think about that too, right? They want to, if we want to duplicate this business with many others, we have to be able to show that we have a life, right?
Exactly.
And we have to be raw and honest sometimes. And, you know, like, it's okay to do some of those, guys, I'm just having a really crappy day, and, you know, thankful for Adaptive today. Just keep it simple, because everybody is at that level feeling that crappy right now. Yeah. So if you're like over there with roses and sunshine, you might want to make them throw up too, right? Like,
yeah.
You have to be in a space where everyone can relate. So I feel like that was comforting to see. And then in everyone's pages, just be like, it's family time. Yeah. It's, you know, get outside and do something. And it doesn't always have to be about the business. You're still inspiring people.
That means so much to me. Thank you, Amy. And it was, I needed that time. I needed vacation. I needed to disconnect, because especially for, you know, when you do spend a lot of time talking to other people, or you're spending a lot of time online, right? It can start to consume you, right? Yeah. And so, and I'm the one here talking about, I know I've shared with you guys, I talk about being mindful and you're scrolling, but I've fallen down rabbit holes, guys, because there's so much stuff happening in the world, right? So I had to disconnect. I had to take a step back, spend time with family. Again, like, finding your why is just, it's so important, you know, and I had to find it again, you know, so I appreciate that, Amy. Thank you. And it was much needed family vacation time.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I have a question. With going on Instagram, are you still doing all the lives on there as well?
So I haven't ventured into Instagram TV or the Watch TV. I'm playing with stories because that's fun, and it's short clips, and people like short and sweet. I have, again, I really do genuinely think it, and it kind of makes me sad, but like, we're such a fast-paced society. People want to see short clips, and they want you to pack them full of information in a quick clip, you know. But you guys, I'll admit it too, like, I get in my own head. I'm like, oh, no one wants to hear stories of me, you know, 25 stories of what Jen's doing, but people really do. So I sometimes even have to get out of my own headspace, and it happens all the time. You know, I have to talk myself out of, like, yes, they want to hear this story. And, but haven't done Instagram lives. I do my lives on Facebook still, because that's where I've had most of my success. But growth is scary, and if you're not scared, then, you know, you got to do it. So I grew myself out to Instagram, and that was new and scary. And switching to business pages was scary, but growth is scary, right? So it means I'm doing the right thing, I guess. But if you love Instagram and that's like your thing, and you just love the flow of it, you love the energy on Instagram. Some people just love the way Instagram flows. Give it a go. Do some lives on Instagram. And the thing is it's not a quick success. Whether it's Instagram or Facebook, you know, we all look at these like platforms and we go, oh, if I don't have people paying attention in the first week of me doing this, it must not be successful. It's not true. Like, you need to invest 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Like, growth doesn't happen overnight. Unless y'all get one of them viral videos, then I haven't had one yet. I guess TikTok's where it's at, where the viral videos are.
I was just gonna say that's so funny. Even still, if you get the viral, it seems to still take 7, 8, 9, 10 months.
I'll tell you, I know plenty of people that have had viral videos, and they will have a viral video and they don't get anything from it other than they might gain some followers. But we think viral video and they've made it big. Like, that's it. they had millions and millions of views and they just made $1 million. That's not the truth. It's not how it works. It just gives you a little bit more exposure, right? So, but I will tell you, in my experience and talking with more people that grow their business online, you don't need a large following to grow your business online. You just don't. You don't need a platform of 100,000 followers. I was able to build to Diamond with, not a massive following. So you can do it. You can totally do it. It's just commitment and consistency.
Awesome. I'm going to kill the recording because just in case, somebody has that one lingering question.